Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. Buckle up your seatbelts. This video is going to be absolutely monumental. Again, showing you all physical video proof that these financial institutions know exactly what's happening behind the scenes, that they are transitioning as we speak from the old, outdated, traditional rails into the new blockchain-based rails that will utilize in the future these digital assets, where we will operate in a system, an interoperable system where CBDCs, stable coins, and native digital assets will all coexist.
The goal is also to help the top banks, and top banks are definitely very well aware about what is happening, what are the new options. But indeed, given the complexity of the organization, they need a bit more time to move into production. But we already got very.
So that was Andre Casterman confirming everything that I'm attempting to tell you all, that bank and financial institutions know for a fact that these technologies exist and what's happening behind the scenes. Now, I want you to take a second and listen to this gentleman. He is a banking representative that partnered with Ripple years ago, and he confirms something very interesting, that these banking institutions are utilizing Ripple technology. But then he says, I want you to pay attention to what he says. He says they're not using XRP ... yet. Right? Why would you say that if they're not planning on utilizing the technology?
Help on that one. So that's what I believe on this.
Will it be instant?
Instantly?
Will the payments be instant, and will we change? Will this whole infrastructure be instant in terms
definitely,
of settlement?
Definitely. I think we were talking a lot. We were working a lot with Ripple in, I think, since 5 years, 6 years back. Since I joined in fintech world, I think we started with working with Ripple on the cross-border remittance. And then we were the very first bank to pilot the Ripple network. And definitely that time it used not the XRP, the Ripple yet, but until now, yes. We were the very first bank to pilot the Ripple network. And definitely that time it used not the XRP, the Ripple yet, but until now, yes.
Now that you all have heard that banker confirm that they are using the Ripple network, but they're not using XRP yet, do you all remember what this Ripple representative said?
Now, banks are regulated, conservative, and they're not yet embracing digital currency. So the Ripple software works fiat to fiat. You don't need to send digital currency around. You can send US dollars to Japanese yen, et cetera, but kind of the secret sauce, or taking it to the next level, is by leveraging a digital asset to make that transaction much more efficient.
So again, take into consideration these financial institutions. They know that these digital assets are the secret sauce to taking the financial landscape to the next level. But understand that the infrastructure is not 110% ready for these financial institutions to onboard themselves. Yes, maybe we're seeing custody providers come into play. Yes, maybe we're seeing secure platforms where these financial institutions can house their digital assets, but the regulatory environment is still uncertain. And that's one of the main things that these financial institutions need to move forward. Now, listen to this gentleman confirm that he had a meeting with systemically important people confirming that this is the future. And what I want you to focus on what he says is how he confirms that when all of this will really take off is when real utility and use case kicks in.
Can I just add to that? And this is really an interesting one. It's I never forget about, it must have been 15 years ago. I used to live in London. I was in London. There was this dinner with all these guys, and they were from everywhere, which was at the time at a high level. And they were sitting at this dinner going, "This is the future." And everybody was there at the dinner going, "I kind of really vaguely understand it. We don't really get it." Must have been a bit shorter, about 12 years ago. And then these guys all kind of disappeared into obscurity. They all raised quite a lot of money at the time, and everyone's like, "Was that real? Did we burn ourselves, out?" and so on and so forth. And only when a real use case, and I think where we are today is not 12, 15 years ago in blockchain terms, but maybe we're 5 years away from real use case that see the kind of adoption that we've only just seen. And it's going to be at that point in time where there'll be a killer app that comes along which everybody starts to begin to use, and they go, okay, this is real, and it's fulfilling a promise where the industry was before. And up until that point, we're going to have the press ripping us to pieces, and people saying this is a scam, and rug pulls and bad actors.
So that is something that we have been talking about on the CYPRX platforms for some time, is to pay attention to real utility, real use case, and the value that these digital assets provide. And in my personal opinion, XRP is one of those digital assets that will survive long-term because it does have real world value. It does have real world utility, and it does provide a valuable use case for these financial institutions to use in their business suite. Now, comparative to what that gentleman said, I want to take you back to a panel discussion that Marcus Treacher was on, and he says the same exact thing. Now, remember, Marcus Treacher worked at Ripple for a number of years. So take into consideration, again, what he says comparative to what the gentleman said, and then compare that to what the gentleman said before that about how these financial institutions, in order to level up or to gather the secret sauce from these blockchain-based solutions, is to use digital assets.
I think it's important to look at the big picture for blockchain, and the genie is out of the bottle. Blockchain's in the market and is being applied to today's world. That's having a fairly big impact. And my view is there'll be a moderate to large impact applying blockchain technology that's out and available off shelf to improve some of the processing that financial companies have today. But the big value is looking ahead to the point in time where the technology becomes mature enough to rethink and redefine how money is owned, moved, and utilized. And that will be seismic. And in that future, which is not too far ahead, you'll be looking at what it means to be a bank.
Now that all of that's out of the way, I played a video clip last week from this central bank digital currency conference of a Ripple representative confirming that in the future, they see, again, an interoperable system where CBDCs, stablecoins, and native digital assets all coexist. Why would they be saying that if they thought that these quote unquote digital assets, again, like XRP, are going away? Take a second and listen.
Required. And that's what we think about at Ripple. We think about a CBDC as a full ecosystem that encompasses different instruments, different actors, and ultimately different use cases. So when we think about different instruments, yes, we're talking about central bank digital currency. We're also talking about private money. We're talking about stablecoin, tokenized deposit. We might be talking about native cryptocurrencies. All of these things we anticipate coexisting in some fashion in a mature marketplace. We're also talking about private money. We're talking about stablecoin, tokenized deposit. We might be talking about native cryptocurrencies. All of these things we anticipate coexisting in some fashion in a mature marketplace, subject to regulatory frameworks that allow for them to interoperate along different corridors. But we're building for that. We're building for that future.
Now, listen to the same gentleman that confirmed that they are using RippleNet but not utilizing XRP yet, say that they are in the process of moving from the old outdated payment rails to these new blockchain payment rails.
But what we are looking in the futures, we are planning maybe about in 3 years' time, but we're not sure how far is that. But we want to move from digital banking to the blockchain-based banking. That means that the blockchain can be helping basically increasing the productivity for the bank.
At a base level, taking a network that is safe and secure and using that to replace legacy networks like SWIFT, $30 and up to 48 hours to make a transfer, as long as we can get over this regulatory blast that we're getting at the moment being led by the US.
Now, he goes on to mention a regulatory environment that supports this transformation. I'm going to again play the video clip of the Ripple representative saying the same exact thing. This is not a coincidence, people. This is to show you that there are closed door meetings that you and I will never know about, and that these systemically important people have information and they know what is happening. Again, it's drip fed to the general public, and we are misled to believe that this digital asset class is going away. I'm telling you all right now, they do not want you involved because they understand where this future is headed. Take a second and listen.
All of these things we anticipate coexisting in some fashion in a mature marketplace, subject to regulatory frameworks that allow for them to interoperate along different corridors.
As long as we can get over this regulatory blast that we're getting at the moment, being led by the US, and which gives the confidence in turn for the institutions to start replacing the likes of SWIFT, open banking, faster payments, you know, SEPA, all of this sort of stuff with these new networks, and I think that will come.
Now, interestingly enough, they mention a sound regulatory environment. I want you to take a second. This is the last video clip to listen to what this gentleman from Medico, a Ripple acquired digital asset custody provider, says about XRP having regulatory clarity.
As you said, what is about the regulation in the US, what's in South America, what's with Africa, what's with Asia. So all these things, I think, play into that the same thing. And the positive thing is that at the same time, the SEC said XRP is not a security. The SEC said XRP is not a security.
So with all of these video clips in mind, understand that these financial institutions know the transformative potential of utilizing these digital assets in their backend infrastructure. It's just that right now they cannot due to the uncertain regulatory environment. But once that all becomes clear, once the infrastructure, the framework, and the foundation is all solid and laid out, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress enough that this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and those individuals out there that have the patience, that have the understanding and the education of what is happening behind the scenes will be the ones that come out on top. XRP is not a pump and dump scheme like these meme coins. So if you're investing in the digital asset XRP, do not expect to become a millionaire in a month from now, in 2 months from now. Look at it as a long-term investment for later on in life when all of this digital transformation really comes into fruition and trillions of dollars at scale are flooding through this digital asset space. Again, in my personal opinion, XRP in the future will have a massive role to play in the connectivity and interoperability of the new financial infrastructure. Many blessings to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that video breakdown. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the platform. We do appreciate the love and the support, always attempting to show you guys the devils in the details. This information is not hard to find. I'm not telling you guys to invest in the digital asset XRP. Do your own personal research, be cognizant, be your way out there, and I will see you all in the next video breakdown.